to the attack. Nalin Arachchilage is an Associate Professor in Cybersecurity at RMIT University and he joins us now from Melbourne. Nalin Arachchilage, welcome. So take us through what you understand has happened here.
Thanks for having me here, Joe. And what happened was the cyber criminals employed a technique called credential stuffing, which involves using stolen credentials such as a username, password, perhaps the banking details of those victims from a previously recorded data breaches. So they use this information to access to victims' superannuation account. So that is a sort of a repercussion that we experience today from a previously occurred data breaches. We have been experiencing lots of data breaches recently.
And so were they previously recorded data breaches of the same superannuation funds or of other organisations?
It could be a lot of collections, collectively recorded data, so not specific ones. So the attackers might be referring to many sources to extract information about people. So breaking into people's mindset is the easiest way rather than breaking into the system. So the attack would collect information from all possible sources, perhaps recently occurred data breaches.
What do you mean breaking into people's mindset?
So the art of phishing, the breaking into people's mindset is very easy than breaking into the systems. For example, sending them an email, phishing email with a phishing link, so asking them to download a malicious IC applications or respond to that email with the sensitive information like username, password, banking credentials, so on and so forth. So that's a breaking into people's mindset or art of human hacking.
There have been some other notorious big hacks of big organisations in Australia in the last couple of years. Is it possible that information gained through those could have been used in this hack?
Like I mentioned that earlier, the attacker would possibly access to all the sources where they would be able to access people's behavioural information. Not only that, but also credentials, username, password, banking details, and so on and so forth. This is where they would be able to break into even two-factor authentication as well. So they are very keen.
Yeah. And so what was the likely motivation of the attackers?
The attacker's motivation is to escalate as a threat to national government security, because we need to have security, cybersecurity capabilities developed to combat against these attacks. Think about, we have vulnerable populations in the country, older adults, young adults, people living with disabilities, Aboriginal and Torres Strait Islanders, and a lot of people are living with all these superannuation scheme. In that case, if they could target these to leverage their attacks, because they are not aware of these cyber attacks, and also they're not aware of how to use this technology securely and safely. So this is where they're going to leverage to breaking into the systems.
So was this about trying to steal money or something else?
So it could be stealing money as well as stealing data. So once they could access to all sorts of data from across the all vulnerable population, then it is easy to even break into national sensitive data, like breaking into the critical infrastructure within the country as well.
So, yeah, what are you suggesting there about what could follow on from this?
I think from general a population's point of view, in Australians, we really need to think about using unique and strong password to protect our account, using different sort of passwords across the different accounts that we're using, and also using multi-factor authentication as extra layer of security. That is very important. Also keep monitoring your account as well. Be cautious about the emails, particularly receiving with a suspicious link. That is very, very important to think about. From the government perspective, it is important that we really need to promote cybersecurity awareness programs. Also, we need to investigate cybersecurity capabilities we have within the countries in order to protect our country against those cyber attacks. Also, we need to have a strong security regulations in place, and those regulation frameworks in place in order to assure that we are prepared to combat against those cyber attacks and data breaches.
And so how does this reflect on superannuation industry cyber security standards, taking into account in particular, this is an industry worth trillions of dollars?
That's right. So that's what they wanted to target the government. They cannot access the government straight away. That's what they're trying to use people who are on superannuation scheme. So this is where they would demonstrate they could indirectly target the government through understanding the vulnerable populations of the country, like I mentioned that earlier, young and older adults, people living with disabilities. And we really need to strengthen our cybersecurity controls to protect citizens within the country. So that is hugely going to be impact on the national economy.
Okay, Nalin Arachchilage, thanks so much for talking to us from Melbourne.
Thanks for having me here.
And